Welcome to this video. My name is Mike Rushton and today I'm going to be looking at maintenance of cutting tools. So moving on to the axe. This is a Grants of Small Forest, one of the most popular items within a kit. Most importantly, the use of the axe. You've got to know how to use it accurately and safely. If you don't know how to do that, never take it with you. Learn how to do that first, and then it becomes a tool of the woodsman and becomes a real asset while out camping. Around about twice a year I actually rub down the helve. The helve is just impregnated with linseed oil straight from the factory, but what I do, I just need to rub that down, and reapply a coating of linseed oil. And what I use for that is a wet and dry. So the stuff that you use for repairing the vehicle is normally dipped in water and rubbed. This one I just use dry, so it's really fine sandpaper, and all I do is just very lightly start rubbing that down. So it's taking off all the muck and all the grease from the hand. It's really non-abrasive, it's non-aggressive to the helve. And I'm nearly taking that down back to bare wood. So I've finished rubbing the helve down. This allows me then to look at any faults within the wood, any splits occurring, any cracks or anything like that. It also gives me an opportunity to look as if the whole axe is in line, so the cutting edge splits the helve directly in half and splits the deer foot in half. That's very important, especially when you're bucking or cross-cutting timber with the axe. What I'll do now is clean the head up prior to sharpening. Yet again, autosol and fine wire wool, and polish that up first. Then what I'll do, I'll just coat the helve in some boiled linseed oil. So I have some linseed oil here and a nice clean rag. Squeeze some out onto the rag and then apply to the helve. It's very important, once you've finished with the rag, to soak it in water prior to throwing it away. Linseed oil can spontaneously combust, so you don't want that happening in the workshop or shed. I tend to apply 2 or 3 coats of linseed oil to ensure it's really soaked in and seals in that wood. It gives it a real nice patina. Once I've soaked it, obviously any excess oil that's on there, I don't want that on the helve while it's in use, so I'll just wipe that off with a clean piece of rag. I've rubbed down the helve, I've re-oiled the helve, and I've wiped any excess off. Everything looks good so far. So now I'm going to concentrate on the sharpening. The axe should be as sharp as your knife. Okay, so it should be shaving sharp. If, for example, you're working in areas such as spruce woodland, where you've hit a knot or you've hit the ground accidentally and you get a little nick in the cutting edge, this needs to be taken off. The way to do that is we introduce the Leatherman tool. As previously mentioned, it's got an engineer's file on one side and a diamond file on the other. To get rid of that nick, we need to use the engineer's file first, and we start to draw file. A draw file is putting the file 90 degrees to the cutting edge, and then we draw the file across the cutting edge, keeping the profile of the axe. Once that's done, then we can use the file again to give ourselves a very rough edge. Then we can use the back of that, and starting in small circles on the diamond file side, start to put an edge back on. So within our cleaning kit we've got a few options. that does quite a few options. From the filing stage we can go on to the buck spike if we need to. Once the diamond file stage is finished, we can go on to the spidicles. We can either use the double stuff onto there, or we can use the heart shaped one that we use on a crook knife onto there. The axe is made in a convex shape. This is to prevent it from sticking in the wood. So we must ensure that we keep that profile of that convex shape. Once we've taken any nicks out through draw filing, we've filed off with a file, we've introduced the diamond file, then we can start with this. I tend to use the double stuff. Use the medium side first and then move on to the fine side. And I do this, I start at one end of the cutting edge in small circles and move up to the top and then back down. The spider gold stones are great because you don't need any water or any oil, you just use them dry, and after a period of time you get this grey material. That's obviously the parts of the steel. You just wash them in soapy water. Once you've carried that out to a razor sharp edge, you've still created a wire edge, so that then must be stropped to get rid of that. Once that's done, the head is oiled, any excess wiped off, and then we'll concentrate on the sheath. The sheath is a very important part of the axe. Obviously it prevents the cutting edge getting damaged and also prevents you from getting cut. So a bit of care and attention on this to keep the leather nourished, ensuring that it fits together correctly still. So the way to do that, I use just normal boot polish. So we put a bit on with an on brush. I find just stick your fingers in it and give that a good coating, especially along the strap. We'll leave that for a couple of minutes to dry, and then we use the off brush to give it a nice shine. So there we go, just finishing off with the off brush. And this then we can introduce to the axe. And that's it.